Aloha, welcome to my channel. This is Dosha with DoshaDreamsTarot, and this is a reading for the sign of Libra. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus signs, or wherever you have Libra in your chart. Please do keep in mind that this, Wheel of Fortune. This is a general reading, but it may or may not resonate with you, so please just take what does and leave the rest for somebody else. Cross watchers are welcome. Just please keep in mind that roles can be reversed, so place yourself where you fit. Be honest with yourself. If it doesn't fit, don't force it. Energy is fluid, and gender is fluid, okay? Time is also fluid, so. Alrighty then. Whew, let's get into it. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We are deeply grateful. We know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide our Libras for their highest good? Please help guide Libra for their highest good, Spirit. And please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, wow. You got your card is coming out. Justice. Crazy. Princess of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Interesting. You're showing up in your own reading. Thanks, Spirit. Spirit's like, yep, that's it. That's the reading. I'm sorry. Spirit makes me laugh. It's so funny. What? Do you want me to use the other deck? No? Just want me to be patient? Okay. Aw, no. Why? Okay, we've got the Three of Swords coming out in the reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? You're balancing things out here. I feel like that you've been holding on to the past and you're finally just letting that shit go. You're letting it go. Something from the past has been very painful for you. I feel like that it was a heartbreak. Doesn't have to be romantic. I always have to tell people this because it's really important and not enough tarot readers do. I love y'all, but we've got to start telling people the real, and we can't be sitting here being like, it's all about love and romance. It's like, yes, okay, yes, but a lot of things can break your heart, okay? You know, you could have to move away, you know, and you lose all your friends. You know, someone could pass on and that breaks your heart. You know how many things can break your heart? Jesus. Just even looking at the state of the world can break your heart, okay? So I'm just trying to say, like, I hope that y'all have experienced, like, I don't hope that you've experienced heartache, but I hope that you have a big enough heart to have room for more things than just romantic love. Like, please, God. So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to go off in your reading, Libra, right at the beginning here, but, like, this may be important for you to hear, I feel like, specifically also because, you know, you maybe that's something you're realizing also, is that you're like, I'm putting way too much weight on this, this pain from the past here. You've got the Five of Cups. I feel like you are, you've been in this state of kind of like, you know, grieving, okay, and grieving is important, but I feel like it may be moved on past the point because the Three of Swords is in reverse, meaning that this broken heart, you know, is, you're moving on from this broken heart here, and I think that you're still sitting in this sadness to a certain extent. And so right beneath the Justice card, we've got the Four of Pentacles in reverse here. So what I'm getting with this is that you are letting go. You're letting go of whatever this is that's been, you know, it's been hurting you, you know, emotionally. And what's kind of cool about this card is that you see this giant moth up here. It's almost like you're kind of realizing that, like, being in this state of mind has actually drawn you to certain things, okay? It's kept you stuck, where that it's actually drawn you to, like a moth to the flame is what I'm getting here. And if you look at this, it almost looks like a lantern too. If you look at the little, whatever this is, it's kind of like a a little gazebo or something, but it like takes you through to another world or something there. It's kind of cool, but it kind of looks like a lantern. So what I'm saying is that, you know, I feel like this is you realizing that you being in this energy has been making you either like people are drawn to you like moths to a flame, and that has been really toxic, or you are drawn like a moth to the flame of like other things that are keeping you in that headspace. So you're breaking out of it. Okay, sorry if that was loud. If you're wearing headphones, I'm sorry. You've got the High Priestess in reverse. So I think you're also realizing that you've been cut off from your higher self. You've been cut off from your intuition. You've been sitting in this, you know, this grief, you know, and I feel like this Justice card is coming out to say like, hey, it's time to let go. And it's time to rebalance, okay? And this is always the goal. This is literally the cycle, and it sucks. And I'm just saying that because I feel like people hear this type of language about a situation, and they're like, and it's like when you are stuck in something, or you have been for some time, and you've been like literally clawing your way out, you know, and you hear someone say something like that, you're just like, I know, and you're like, I'm trying, and it's not easy. And it's like, I totally, like, okay, hangman. That's definitely talking about reaching enlightenment, okay? And the reason why I feel like it's really important that like when these things come up in readings for me to talk about, that I like really talk about it, because I'm not just gonna give you this like surface level sprinkle of like, oh, you know, you're breaking out of this sadness and you're rebalancing your life. It's like, you know, that's great and everything, but like I really actually want you guys to be able to do this shit. So I'm not gonna sit here and like just give you buzzwords and not actually get into it, because what I'm getting here is that like you really actually you've been trying really hard, okay? Your Three of Swords is in the reverse now. Keep that in mind. You have managed to turn the situation around, okay? Ooh, Knight of Wands coming out in reverse here. That almost makes me feel like you've stopped using sex as a way to escape. Good job. And I feel like you're really like, I feel like you're actually ready. And, you know, it's so hard. I just feel for you, Libra. And I'm just sorry that like, you know, I really do think that I'm a Scorpio, and like Scorpio and Libra, we're not, you know, you're an air sign, you know, we're water signs, but like we're right in the same cusp with each other. We're born the same time of year, you know, and we sit next to each other on the zodiac wheel. And so I feel like there is like a lot of kind of crossover, and not just crossover, but I think we empathize with each other a lot, actually. Like I really do think that Libras and Scorpios connect, and we can sometimes butt heads, but I also think that a lot of times we really connect with each other. So I think on a spiritual level, like I think we have similar spiritual paths sometimes, okay? Because also with my birth date, and it's different for everybody, my birth date actually boils down to an 8, and that is the Justice card. So I actually, even personally, with 8 being my life path number, identify with the Justice card in the tarot. And so what I'm saying is that I totally, like, it's almost like I feel where you are in this process, in this stage of this process, and it's the part of the process where you're like fed up, you know what I mean? But you're finally ready to surrender. That Knight of Wands in reverse showing up again. It's almost like, because also like I really am not trying to make it about me at all. I'm just trying to share with you that I'm empathizing, because as a Scorpio, I'm really not trying to be like that, but for real, like in the past, and this is different for everybody, there are lots of asexual Scorpios out there, okay? But for me personally, when I was going through, you know, and healing from heartache, you know, multiple knives in the heart, right? It's like, you know, I used sex as a way to escape, and I used this kind of like, you know, fast movement where that I would just, you know, I'd be like, okay, I'm focused on this. Well, now I'm focused on this. And so I would, you know, I'd be dating a lot of people, you know, starting in things and ending them just as quickly as they began. And you know what I mean? And having, you know, casual sex. And it was really like a way of me trying to cope. And so I feel like as soon as I stopped doing that, and I started to realize that it was actually really, you know, in the long run, actually, it's physically unhealthy for you too, because you're putting yourself at risk if you're not being safe enough, which I thank goodness have made it through, you know what I mean, and you know what I mean, and I'm healthy and everything's fine. But it's more like, what I'm saying is that you start to realize that it's actually wounding you further, and it's taking you further off the path of being balanced, and you're trying to you know, supplement. So what I'm saying is, you're at a point in your life now where you've realized that you're stopping. I feel like you already have, okay, and that is what's catalyzing the rest of this, is that you've stopped supplementing, and you've stopped using coping mechanisms, or being, you know, flighty and non-committal, because that's another symptom, you know what I mean, of being, you know, brokenhearted. It's, you know, where it's scary to be, you know, serious about something also, because that would mean that if it didn't go well, then it would hurt you again, right? So we all know how that goes. So anyway, what I'm getting here is that you are at the stage where that you're like, I'm sick of feeling sorry for myself. You know what I mean? The pain is not as bad as it once was, okay? You're like, I don't even feel like I know which direction I should be heading in because of this. Like, there's these keys at the foot of the High Priestess in reverse, and you can see them better because it's in reverse, like they kind of stand out a little bit more. So what I'm getting here is that you're kind of like, you feel like you lost your car keys. You know what I mean? Where you're like, I'm just frustrated now because, you know, I really need to get to the next, you know, destination. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to do what I need to do, and I feel like I can't find my car keys, you know? So I feel like this is the Four of Discs in reverse is really coming in, as you're like, you're surrendering to the process now, because, you know, you may have been, like I said, supplementing, masking, hiding, grieving, drinking, maybe even with the Five of Cups I'm getting, maybe even overindulging in self-care, which is starting to become avoidance, okay, from other people or something. And I feel like you're starting to surrender, because you're like, okay, this is not, you know, this is not helping, you know what I mean? But it's difficult, you know what I mean? But I'm just getting that this is the stage that you're in here. You're at the last part, is what I'm getting. This is the last part, is where that you're acknowledging the way that it's impacting you spiritually. You're acknowledging your responsibility in this process, and how you know, you want to stop doing certain things and start doing others. You know what I mean? You want to bring your life back into balance. Oh, wow. You've got the Five of Swords coming out to clarify the Five of Cups. Absolutely. You're recognizing that it's actually sabotaging your opportunities, that this is a form of self-sabotage, when you instead are like, well, no, I'll just, oh wow, you've got the Lovers coming out at the bottom of the deck. You could be dealing with a Gemini. This could also just be talking about you avoiding connection with others, and this could be like romantic connections. But what I'm getting is that with the Five of Swords, it's like you recognize that you may have opportunities to connect with other people, and I think that's why this is coming out, so that you'll know what kind of opportunities I'm talking about here. And this is Spirit's way of clarifying and getting to the point with you, is that you may have opportunities to connect with other people, which you would like to do, but you sabotage it by being like, no, I need to take care of myself. I would rather stay home and have a bath, and you know what I mean with this Five of Cups. I'd rather have a glass of wine and a bubble bath and a good cry. You know what I mean? Every Saturday night. Like, I'm not trying to be mean. You do you, boo. Like, I respect whatever you want to do, but I think you are starting to realize this isn't about me telling you what you need to do. You realize that that's not helping you move forward, and it's you're sabotaging opportunities for connection and happiness and partnership, because you would rather, you know what I mean, focus on that. So that's just what I think Spirit is trying to tell you, that you are already realizing this. So what is this Four of Discs in reverse? Can we clarify the Four of Pentacles in reverse? Okay, 2 cards? Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Wow, Ten of Swords in reverse. So I feel like this is about a cycle coming to an end, or that you have been, in a way, you are acknowledging that you've kind of been blocking yourself from completing this cycle. And it's not your fault. A lot of times we don't even know we're doing it. It's just because we get, I almost just said addicted to the feeling of being in sorrow. And like, I am sorry to say that, and that sucks, and I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying that it's almost, that's what it's like. I don't know how else to explain it. Is that, I honestly thought for a long time that was bullshit, but when I started realizing that we sometimes indulge in our sadness, and I knew when I was doing it, and I was allowing and actually holding space for, which we can hold space for ourselves to grieve. We need to do that. That's entirely like necessary. But it was more like I was encouraging it. Does that make sense? Where I was actually creating an environment for myself where that I could just do that, and I didn't have to. It was a good excuse also to not go face the world or take risks or chances on people or situations, because I was like, oh well, my heart's just broken, and so I am not ready for that. You know what I mean? And like in some instances in the beginning that was true, and I really was trying to protect myself, but then it was like, oh, but I'm willing to have casual sex, but I'm not willing to like go on a date with someone who actually likes me, because that's like, I would rather, you know what I mean, sit around and cry until like I'm horny again, and then like, you know what I mean, go find somebody to screw, like that's just sad. Like, but still, like that's the type of cycle that I'm talking about. So it's not necessarily like, that may not be you, but I'm just giving you examples of like the way that I'm understanding this. So to clarify the Four of Pentacles in reverse, releasing and surrendering, you've also got the Two of Swords in reverse. So you are coming unblocked. You are unblocking yourself, okay? This is coming to the point where that you have to, I'm not saying that you haven't put in effort this whole time. What I'm saying is that this is the point in the cycle where that you are, all you have to do is like finally like just open your hands. You know what I mean? Like, and instead of holding on to it all, just letting it go. And letting it stay there, because that's the hardest part. We can let things go and then grab them back again over and over again, and it sucks because we can be like, I thought I let that go, and you're like, well, you know what I mean, you're like, oh, but I was still letting those synapses fire, basically, right? Like I was still letting my mind wander to that place, because all that stuff is woven into our neurons. Like we can't not remember our past, you know what I mean? But we let ourselves go to that place. That place exists within us, but we have to rewire and rewrite how we feel about it, so that when we think about that thing, because chances are a lot of things that break our hearts is not something that we're just going to forget and we're never going to think about again. That's just not how letting go works. But what we do is we change the way that we feel about it. Like we actively decide how we're going to look at that situation, where that we'll look at something that broke our heart and say, in the past, when I thought about this situation, it would make me feel angry. It would make me feel, devastated. I would be in a state of disbelief. Like, I can't believe that happened. Or I would be, in a state of grief where that I would just, you know what I mean, be horribly depressed and sad. And I'm not trying to drag you anywhere, okay? But what I'm saying is that you can think, okay, this is how I used to feel about it. Now, how do I want to feel about it so that I don't keep going back to those emotional places? This is where neuroplasticity comes in. Like, this is really, really important in healing trauma and healing, heartbreak, okay? Because heartbreak is a little medical condition. Like, we don't talk about that enough, I think, in the medical community, what emotional wounding does to our body physically and what happens in the brain, because this is incredibly important stuff. So what I'm getting here is that you actually are coming to this point where you're changing the way that you think about the situation. So instead of when you get to that roadblock in your mind where you're just like, you know what I mean, that was terrible, period. You know what I mean? Now you're like, okay, but like, what did I gain from it? What did I learn from it? How am I a better person now? How can I add synapses onto that memory and that situation that lead me down a different path, that lead me to a different conclusion, so that my emotional state can reroute back to a place of homeostasis and balance and joy, right? Or at least peace, right? So, I feel like that's what's happening for you now, is you're getting deep into your subconscious with the moon card in reverse here. This is about the mystery being solved, right? That's what I'm getting with this. This is about mysteries being revealed, secrets being revealed. This is about you getting to the bottom of you. You're getting to the bottom of why. And you might not understand why something happened, but you can understand why it is so difficult to overcome. And you can understand how to overcome it. And I think that's what this is really about. This is really about you, and you're finding those keys. Like, it's almost like this is the stage that you have to go through, which is you looking for your car keys. You know what I mean? And like, I'm not trying to be like that, but it's finding that gold within you. I'm seeing the shovel in the Four of Pentacles. This is like you digging deep, okay? If you can see that shovel in there. So it's like, this is you digging deep into your own, into your own mind, where that you're like, I'm no longer going to get to this mental roadblock where that I just can't move past something. Instead, I'm going to dig deep, and I'm going to start to peel back those layers, and I'm going to say, like, how, and ask yourself questions, because your brain is a powerful supercomputer. It's the OG computer, right? Computers are modeled after brains. Like, that's literally how people designed the computer. So you have to understand that, like, you have so much knowledge and so much emotional intelligence and awareness within you, that you just have to bring it out of yourself, and you have to put in the effort to rewire the way that you think about this heartbreak or whatever it is that you have been struggling with. And I think that you're realizing that, like, it's actually at the root of a lot of other problems, in your life. So you're realizing, like, in order for me to move forward and connect with myself, which we're gonna go ahead and, you want me to clarify with this deck? Yes? Okay. Oh my God, Four of Pentacles in reverse at the bottom of this deck. Holy shit. Spirit, you are so cool. Four of Swords. You were healing from this. Synchronicity, I feel like, really drives messages home. And Spirit does that for a reason, because, like, they're trying to, I have chills. That's so cool. Because this is really about you making the decision to heal. Where now it's like, in the past, it was something you didn't have a choice over or not, because you just were in it and you were experiencing it, whether you wanted to or not. You were kind of, in a way, I don't want to say you were helpless, but in a way you were kind of helpless to the process, where you just, like, had to, go through the motions. But now you're at this point where it's kind of like you're at this, with this Two of Swords here, you were kind of at this crossroads almost, where it's like, do I want to keep being sad? Because I can keep being sad. Like, this is the point in the process that I guess is really important, that Spirit wants you to know. Still, the Four of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck in reverse. Oh my God, you're doing the right thing. This is amazing. You're letting it go, because this is the part of the process that I feel like a lot of folks miss, is that they're kind of like, it's almost like they think you're at this crossroads the whole time. But there's stages in grief and in healing that you do, it's not a choice. You're like, this is just the way that the body reacts to trauma. This is just the way that the mind and the heart and the spirit reacts to heartbreak and trauma. Like, this is not something that I can choose if I'm going to be depressed or not today. This isn't a crossroads. This is just my reality, okay? But then you get to a certain point in your healing where that you have worked through, you know what I mean? And you have healed as much as possible, where that now it's like, you're at this stage where that it's like, you can, unfortunately, and a lot of people do, babe, like Libra, a lot of people do stay stuck. And it's because they don't know that they have the power at that point to then come out of it, or they're so wired in this way that it's incredibly difficult. It takes a lot of effort, you know. But one of the biggest things you can do is surrender. And that is where the struggle starts to relax, where it's like, okay, like I'm no longer struggling with this thing. And I'm no longer beating myself up about it. You know what I mean? I'm recognizing that I have the power and I have the ability, and also that Spirit has my back, and that if I do this and I'm actually coming to this place where I am choosing to let it go, I'm choosing to be happy, I'm choosing to rewire the way that I think about this experience, or whatever it is, this life story, even for a lot of us, you know, that we're starting to rewrite these narratives, we're rewriting this story, and we're realizing, like, you know, this is deep within me, and I have the ability to do this. And so you're choosing that. You're choosing to let go of this narrative, this identity. You know, it's possible that you could identify with this trauma to the point where that it's something that you've held on to because it kept you safe. You know, you felt like it kept you safe. A big thing that happens, y'all, is that you can be afraid of forgetting and downplaying. You can be afraid of letting go of a trauma because you're afraid that that means that you will forget and you could and that it could happen again. That's a big one. And I'm here to tell you, and Spirit is here to tell you, that you can let this thing go, and it is not, that's the hardest part. And because you can see in the Four of Pentacles, you know, it's like guarding the heart, guarding the head, guarding the body. You know what I mean? That's what this is. And so it served its purpose, okay? That it did protect you from further harm when you were vulnerable and at risk for being harmed further, okay? And you did protect yourself, and you did a great fucking job, Libra. You did a beautiful job, and I'm so proud of you for getting through this, because getting to this stage is so difficult. And you're here. You're finally here. You know, and you're at this crossroads that you've chosen. You've already chosen, Libra. You're unstuck. You've already chosen to dive deep. You've already chosen to surrender and to let go, you know, and you're recognizing that this is going to help you get back in touch with yourself and your purpose and your spiritual knowledge. Even like you know, people call it your Akashic records. It's really about like your spiritual karma and your past lives, your ancestry, you know. Spirit's asking me to pull a couple cards on that. Let's do it. Oh, sorry to get emotional. Yeah, this is about past. This is about the past. You've got the Six of Wands coming out in reverse to clarify this. This is really about how you realize that this has actually impacted your ability to be successful, you know? And you're at this point now where you're like, I don't have, not that you don't have the time for it, but what I'm getting is that you're like, I can't afford to continue to be stuck in this grief and sadness, because it's actually stopping me from achieving my goals. And not just my goals, okay? This is about fulfilling my purpose, my spirit's calling, like my spiritual purpose on this planet, in order for me to be what it is that I am. For other people too, but this is about you. This is about the whole reason why you're here on this planet. And you don't want that to go to waste. You're like, I have important shit to do, excuse my language, and we are done crying. You know what I mean? We've done our crying, and this is not you being mean to yourself. This is you mothering yourself to a certain extent, guiding yourself. I've got the Judgment card coming out in reverse. See, this is not you judging yourself. This is what I'm getting, is you're not resurrecting any type of self-hate. You're not resurrecting, you know, the past and the way that you maybe had tried to kind of force yourself through this experience. It's more like you're coming from a place of empowerment. This is like you're actually way more empowered. Thank you, Spirit. Knight of Cups coming out. Yeah. See, what I'm getting is that it's like you're realizing, wow, Chariot at the bottom of the deck. This is awesome. You could be dealing with a water sign here, like a Cancer or a Scorpio or Pisces. But what I'm getting is that Spirit's saying that you're realizing, like, you have the ability to give and receive love here. You have the ability to move forward and be balanced. You have the ability to succeed, and it's literally this hang up has been holding you back. And for a lot of this experience, it has not been your fault and it hasn't been up to you. But at this point now, you're realizing it is up to you. And you are not going to pass up this opportunity to change and to move forward and to get out of this. You're like, what? Where's the door? Like, you are not playing around. And I feel like you're surrendering it, because you're like, okay, even if it means I have to be vulnerable, even if it's scary and I have to, you know what I mean? And that, you know, you letting go of those pentacles, so to speak, with the Four of Pentacles is like, you know what I mean? Your arms will be open. And so you're like, that's scary, but at the same time, that means that I can actually receive love too. You know what I mean? And I actually can receive more than that. I can receive my damn car keys. I can receive, you know, my ability to succeed in this life and actually fulfill my purpose, which you have a soul's calling, Libra. Like, I can feel that for you. And this has really bothered you and hung you up. But I'm telling you, this is part of your journey on Earth. Like, whatever this is that you've been going through, this is actually a part of it. And you are going to rewire the way you think about it, because you're going to see finally with this Moon card in reverse, it's going to be revealed to you why this all happened. That's what I'm getting, like, really strongly. And I'm like, well, I'm seriously like crying. I'm like, I'm trying to hold it back. But like, the deal is that you are, you literally are going to see this in a whole nother way, where you're going to be like, wow, this literally taught me so much about myself and about my purpose, that this actually is why this was, and I hate to even say this, but it might even have been necessary in you fulfilling your purpose, because it's part of your purpose. Is this experience has taught you what it's like to go through this. You might be actually end up sitting in my seat here, Libra, you know what I mean? Helping other people work through this. I swear, like, I am totally blown away right now by this reading, because I feel like so empowered, and I feel like I'm so, like, empowered for you. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm so fucking proud of you and, like, stoked on you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're so much more powerful than you realize. Like, you are seriously a wonderful human. Like, whoever is listening to this, like, I just feel you, and, like, it's just beautiful and it's awesome, and I'm just really fucking proud of you. And I know you're gonna fucking do amazing things. You're one of those people that's gonna do amazing things, Libra. You really are. And this could be for multiples of you, okay? So, but I'm just feeling that for you, and it's really, really powerful. So, wow. Okay, so what should I do? Should I do an oracle card? Yeah, Spirit is saying to do a love oracle card. Ooh. Okay. There are some messages in here, too, that are for anything. Okay. Interesting. Okay, Spirit. All three? Okay, all four? Jesus. I can't do all of these. Okay, we're going to do all four. Jeez. All right, Spirit, you're being very generous. So, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light. Create room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. Oh my God. I'm sorry. It's just literally so beautiful. That's literally your entire reading in a nutshell. That's literally what you're doing. You're literally getting rid of this unwanted thinking pattern, and you're letting go, you're releasing, and you're literally surrendering and opening up your life for new possibilities, because you're like, I am tired of sabotaging myself because of sadness, and I'm tired of being stuck. I'm not doing it anymore. I am getting to the bottom of this, and we're getting out of this freaking drudgery. Oh my God, this is so dumb, but you guys are gonna think this is funny probably, but so you know in the Never-Ending Story how the Atreyu's horse, I think it's Artax, I think is their name, I might be saying that wrong, it's been a while, but their horse gets stuck in the mud and they don't make it out. It's sad as fuck. But with this, it's like, you're like, we're getting out of here. You know what I mean? You're like, you got out of the muck, okay? It's awesome. Okay. Power. You instinctively know what is right for you, and you have the power to say no or to walk away at any time. Okay, so what I'm getting with this card is that part of what you have been afraid of is getting wrapped up into some type of scenario or a relationship with someone and not being able to get out of it, and it being, you know, like where you're afraid of connecting with people who are harmful. That's what it is you've been afraid of connecting with people who will potentially hurt you, so you've been cutting yourself off from everybody because of that. So Spirit's here to tell you that you have the power to know if someone is good for you or not. Like, you don't have to doubt yourself in that, because I think that you've been afraid that you'll make, similar mistakes, because you've probably blamed yourself in the past for ending up with people where you're like, God, why didn't I listen to the red flags, yada, yada, because you needed to learn that, whatever it was. And, it's not my place to decide why things happen or to even try and interpret that, because it's between you and Spirit. It's between you and and your higher self, okay, and your ancestors and your angels and your guides and all of that, okay? So I'm just here to say that you do have the power to know what's right for you. Especially at this point, you are stepping into a very empowered place, and you do have the ability to explore with other people and decide if it's right for you or not, and if you feel comfortable with it, and if it feels safe. And you can do that one baby step at a time, 1 inch at a time. You do not have to go any faster or any further than you want to, but just dip your toe in, see what the temperature's like. You know what I mean? You can do that, and it's safe. It's safe enough for you to at least open up a little bit to see, So Spirit's saying you don't have to be afraid that you're going to get tricked or something, okay? Because that's a big fear for people who've been manipulated and hurt, okay? Because that might be your story. I don't know. Might be for some of you, but interesting. Okay, so I'm going to read this one to you, and I'm not sure where this fits into your reading, but maybe you will know. This one says, beware of what you are projecting. For the qualities you admire in one another are qualities you both possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. So I don't know why that's coming up. Maybe for some of you, you might understand why that's coming through. It could just be for some of you. But what I'm getting also is that, you may project onto other people out of fear, and you might project like, oh, this person is just, you know what I mean? I don't know, emotionally unstable. And it's like, well, you might be projecting there, because you might have been feeling a little emotionally unstable. And so you were projecting that onto that person. You know what I mean? So I think that's what Spirit is trying to say, is try not to project your fears onto other people. Or you might just project what you're afraid that they might be, not necessarily just what you might be dealing with, but, just in general. So last card, and then we're going to call it. This has been kind of a long reading. I hope that you've enjoyed it so far and stuck around. This card is, it says, life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. Go with the flow. You will be surprised where it leads. That is just, yeah, that's totally a part of this. That's exactly what we were talking about before, is you already know. I don't even have to get into it. But, this is where your part comes in. And you have been putting in effort this whole time. I'm not saying that, now it's time to put in some effort, kid. It's like, Jesus, no, you are literally, you're amazing. You've done an incredible job to get to this point so far. And now it's like you're recognizing that this is just the stage in the cycles when you start to open back up again. Okay. And it's scary, And so we have a choice to make. And it looks like you've made that choice, Libra. I'm so proud of you. And so you're recognizing that you're like, okay, God, I have to do this because this is the root and this is the crux. And if I open this up, then it's going to open up everything else in my life that I want to open up. I can't just, and this isn't just romantic, okay? This is really just about you opening up as a person You know what I mean? And connecting even just with friends, connecting with your family, being emotionally vulnerable, okay? Emotionally available to people. Instead of choosing your sorrow, you're choosing, you know, to connect with others, okay? And that's really what this is about. And you would be amazed how much, and especially if you're here on tarot, you know that connecting with other people and connecting our energy together and sharing, and even if it's a one-sided conversation, I'd love to hear from you guys. Please comment. But you know that other people, we heal each other. This is the journey, you know, is recognizing that. So I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for the next leg of your journey, Libra. And please do comment and tell me what's going on with you. And yeah, I just love it. I'm so proud of you, and I've just had like chills and tears like this entire reading. And I hope that that it has been meaningful for you. So I'm gonna leave it there. Please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. I do dream interpretations as well. So if you're interested, my contact info is in the description box below, as well as my donation links if you're interested in dropping me a donation. So I really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all your support, and I do look forward to seeing you next time. All right, thanks.